Imagine a world with no poverty, no hunger, no disease, no crime. Imagine a society where every single citizen has a luxury apartment, unlimited food, and perfect protection from all predators. It sounds like heaven, doesn't it? It sounds like the ultimate goal of human civilization. In 1968, a scientist named John B. Calhoun decided to build this heaven. He called it Universe 25. He didn't build it for humans. He built it for mice. He wanted to see what would happen if living beings had absolutely everything they needed. The result wasn't a paradise. It was a massacre. Within a few years, the population didn't just stop growing, it went extinct, totally wiped out. Not because of a lack of food, not because of a plague, but because of something far more terrifying. Something that scientists call the behavioral sink. And the scariest part, when you look at the phases of Universe 25, it looks suspiciously like the world we are living in right now. Let's go back to day one. John Calhoun constructed a massive pen at the National Institute of Mental Health in Maryland. It was a 9-foot square box with walls impossible to climb. Inside, he built 4 massive high-rises with 256 apartments. The calculations were simple. The enclosure could comfortably house 3,840 mice. Water was pumped in constantly. High-quality food was dumped in the center, enough to feed thousands. The temperature was kept at a perfect 68 degrees. It was a mouse utopia. Calhoun started with just 4 pairs of healthy mice. At first, it was exactly what you'd expect, the strive period. The mice explored, they marked their territory, and they began to breed. Life was good. Without predators to kill the young, survival rates were nearly 100%. The population doubled every 55 days, 300 mice, 600 mice. The box was buzzing with life. Families were large, social roles were clear. The older generations held the best apartments, and the younger ones respected the hierarchy. But then, around day 315, something changed. The population hit 600, then 1,000. Remember, the box could hold nearly 4,000. There was no physical shortage of space. There was still endless food, but there was a shortage of social space. In the wild, if a young mouse grows up and can't find a role in the tribe, they leave, they emigrate. They start a new colony elsewhere. In Universe 25, there was nowhere to go. The walls were absolute. Young males reaching adulthood found all the social roles were filled. The best apartments were taken by the older, longer living males who refused to give up power. With no role to play, no territory to defend, and no females to impress, the young males became lost. They gathered in the center of the pen, the courtyard. They stopped moving. They stopped interacting normally. Calhoun called them the dropouts. But they weren't peaceful. They were a ticking bomb. Occasionally, one would snap. Violent brawls would break out for no reason. They would attack each other, biting tails and ears, leaving deep wounds. And the victims? They didn't fight back. They just lay there. The chaos spread to the females. With the males either too aggressive or too withdrawn to protect the nests, the females had to become warriors. They became aggressive to defend their young. But the stress was too much. Eventually, the aggression turned inward. Mothers started attacking their own babies. They would kick them out of the nest too early. Or worse, they would abandon them completely in the middle of the floor to die. The family structure, the glue of mouse society, had completely dissolved. From this chaos, a new generation emerged. And this is where the story gets truly haunting. Calhoun called them the beautiful ones. These were mice born into the height of the chaos. To survive, they didn't fight, they didn't try to mate, they didn't try to socialize. They completely withdrew from society. All they did was eat, drink, sleep, and groom themselves. Their fur was perfect because they never fought. They had no scars. They looked healthy. But inside, they were dead. They had zero interest in reproduction, zero interest in connection. They were autistics of the spirit. As the older generation died off, the beautiful ones became the majority. You would think, with the violence gone, the population would recover. The food was still there, but the beautiful ones had forgotten how to be mice. They had no drive. The population peaked at 2,200, far below the capacity of 3,800, and then it began to crash. It was a straight line down to zero. Even when the population dropped back to low numbers, when there was plenty of space again, they didn't start breeding. The psychological damage was permanent. The females had lost the instinct to mother. The males had lost the instinct to court. On day 1780, the last resident of Universe 25 died. The colony had everything it needed to survive, except the will to do so. Calhoun wrote a terrifying conclusion. When all social roles are filled and competition is removed, life ceases to have meaning. He called this the first death, the death of the spirit. The physical death, extinction, is just the inevitable follow-up. So, why does a mouse experiment from the 60s matter today? Look around. We see the rise of hikikomori in Japan, young men who locked themselves in their rooms for years, refusing to participate in society. We see birth rates plummeting across the developed world, not because of famine, but because of a lack of desire. We see increasing polarization, random violence, and a retreat into digital avatars, our own version of grooming ourselves while the world burns. We are not mice. We have culture, we have art, we have reason. We can change our fate. But Universe 25 is a warning written in blood. It warns us that paradise isn't just about safety and comfort. It's about purpose. It's about struggle. It's about needing each other. If we remove all the challenges of survival, do we eventually remove the will to live? Are we creating our own Universe 25? Let me know what you think in the comments, and if you want to understand more about the dark side of the human mind, click this video right here.